Hey Deckers, Liam here. I've got a news tip for you today as The Sims 4 has officially had the base game go free to play. Thanks to Proton, you can play it on Steam Deck and Linux desktop as well, but there's a number of things to be aware of. For starters, while the base game is free, there are 59 packs of DLC that together cost quite a lot of money. Even with a bunch on sale right now, it's well over £500 to complete it. So yes, it's free, but only in the sense that you will likely end up paying a good deal more for it in the end. As for Steam Deck support, there's numerous issues to be aware of. It only has Deck Playable rating, as Valve noted several issues, including a problematic launcher, so that's Origin, showing the wrong icons because it has no controller support. You need to manually bring up the on-screen keyboard, some of the text can be too small, and it complains about compatibility but it still runs. And there's a note there that it does also need you to be online. So just how bad is it? Well, I installed it for the first time to do this video, having not played The Sims since the original, just to see what we can expect from it. Now, as expected, during the first run, it will require you to install Origin, but surprisingly, that didn't actually cause an issue at all. After accepting the terms and hitting install and then waiting a bit, it did the usual first time setup, and after waiting again for it to finish, the game loaded up just fine. But as expected, it does give you the video card warning, which you can safely ignore. The defaults are set to ultra settings, and that seems to work okay, but it does give you some bigger performance drops than you want, so you definitely should tune that down a bit. There were no problems in the character creator either, with everything basically working as expected, although you do need to manually bring up the keyboard for your name. As Valve warned, for any text inputs like search bars, you do need to bring up the keyboard yourself with Steam and X. Actually, in-game, the controls definitely take some getting used to, as there is no controller support, and it seemed to actually change the Steam input config by itself between my first and second run of the game, which was more than a bit confusing. When we change it down to medium settings and then give it a relaunch, again, no issue, Origin mostly stays out of the way. However, this is where it starts to get you. On the second launch, it's already starting to bug about DLC and upgraded editions, because naturally EA want your money. Anyway, back in the game on medium settings, and it looks pretty reasonable, and it seems to continue performing quite well. With The Sims 4 on medium settings, you'll get somewhere between 2 and 3 hours, depending on what you're doing, which I think is pretty reasonable overall. It sits pretty well in line with what's generally expected from the Steam Deck on bigger games, unless you're going to do some heavy tweaking. And with medium settings directly on the deck screen in handheld mode, I do think it looks pretty good overall. Anyway, I wanted to show you how well it actually works out of the box. There is no special changes here, no swapping Proton versions. With the default Proton 7, it is basically click and play and it works well. And honestly, I've yet to see any text that's too small either, and my eyesight isn't the best. I've barely any idea what I'm doing since, as I mentioned, I've not played since the original game. I remember the days of building a swimming pool, taking out the steps, and then watch my Sims panic. Don't ask me why, apparently quite a few people did that. I guess I just had a bit of a mean streak there when I was younger. So, Sims 4 is now free to play. It works out of the box on the Steam Deck with seemingly no real big issues that I could find. And I have a feeling that this is going to be the next game that I end up playing in bed and staying up way too late. So if you were interested in checking out The Sims 4 on Steam Deck, go check it out. Seems to work fine.
Fuibak Dutsuo, Dolbe, Che, Arkansas, Bondo.
Skumba Choop, Prapna Pelzo. Dirty Sloof. Vula Epni.
Yes, Ms. Ribalfa?
Renobla.
Ravuda. Schwenji? Farsele Pinte. Ah. Infal. Gown him Yadavelk. Numiv. Saffol, Saffol. Rimplescoo? Oh,
Daga.
nice.
Charky Bibna. Zor.
Stevie.
Oh, Lampeva.
Yabo.
Yibs, happy I'm from.
Waksa na
Smavadish.
Pupata. Yishka. Bator. Yasamba pony. Yabi bizarre. Arabroop.
Ooh.
A pleva. Narfa yesu.
Ah.
Wadizor. Anorfa. Omo.
Ooh.
Bagoni.
Sturm Garsha Thark. Thark. Itak. Thark. Eh? Outcome. Pimbus. Blah blah. Shimba bluff.
Oh. Oh, knock. Quimble.
Oh. Quick, Snarfa.
Oh, right. Jawada Blindy. Brek new Silboy. Sawada
Oh,
Nulai, huh?
Lonkas.
What? Haha, Jean.
Gaunim
Samas, na sharp galmu, uk turful peripana.
Sarpava. Lomish Anquamra Scanes Shame.
Yivka bumzoi, Falanas pit. Oh, limpy. Lovo.
Lamina War.
What's that, Dib?
Eva Plushi Zareen. Rosine Smacy. Dibawis Varpasa.
Feeding us slurgs.
Tuni. Infali Miss Wabaran. Hibane. Linok. Shaka. Kinnick.
Hey,
Swart.
Durson a Kana. Shibok. Swap a Gabriz Harf. Farepi.
Frodema Rothase.
Plushi Zareen. Lamina Quar.
Swinkaplonich. Jan. Muska Plabo and Tree. Shroses Guru.
Guma. Dibba Wis. De Leash. Brinkavint. Fina Iffle Im.
Plemis Pulfani. Quahibin Bayumi. Hey, you bifala. Ziggurak.
Kumba. Moobni. Please.
Dinik Denka. Zip, 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 zip. Ruthe. Galarga. Lumba Clunkus Essen.
No, Gala Grolza.
Finiab. Nitfa Payfin. Planage.
Yes.
Oh, oh. Oh.
Plushi Zabrisi. Kemple Varuda. Shanka Glimol. Bempi Yorid. Janet.
Flemishusha.
Uh.
Yafla Bargor.
Borgahe Semba Clark.
Ah, Nefnis